Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. It is episode 41, and it is your boy HSR.
Yo, and it's your boy Chris Chrome.
And if you happen to look at the thumbnails, we are in fact in the same clothes as last week's, or in the middle of the week. Yeah, this is an extra episode because we messed up and missed a week. So this should be like Wednesday or Thursday when this is coming out. Hello, everybody. Why don't you tell us what album we are reviewing today?
Well, I know we might be a little late, guys, and we apologize, but this week's album is Vince Staples' Big Fish Theory.
Yeah, it was kind of requested by one of the comments, and we didn't know Lil Uzi Vert was actually going to release his album. It just kind of popped up in Spotify, so we did his last time, and then we still wanted to do the Vince Staples one because we wanted to make it up to you for missing a week, and here we are. And for Soda Streaming, I'm halfway through the same Diet 7-Up from last week.
I'm almost done the Coca-Cola.
Anyway.
I didn't start it this time.
Yeah, so I was nursing this because really we didn't want to go through 2 liters of this crap in one night. Not that it's crap, but it's still soda, so drink with moderation and all that stuff, you know?
Fair enough.
So when did you first encounter Vince Staples in your life?
Actually, when we did the Gorillaz album,
Yes.
and he was the first
You
artist
were
on the
now
track.
witnessing the throne of Jehovah or whatever. Yeah, he was on the
sky's
song
falling,
Ascension.
baby, drop that ass till it crash.
So yeah, the track Ascension, he was on that, and it was particularly like a great song.
It was really great.
His flow's fun. It was kind of airy and loose and whatnot, but it made me kind of like remember the name Vince Staples, right? He wasn't like a guy that you heard and was like whatever. And then I remember we saw his album was coming out and we picked something else, and so we just moved on over him. Apologize, I don't know how popular Vince Staples is, how many of you wanted us to review it. If you do have preferences in what we pick, what kind of rap you want to hear, just let us know in the comments, and
we will find a way to.
Honestly, because we did so many albums this weekend, for me at least, it was a whole extra one. I didn't have a lot of time to look up who Vince Staples was, and I'm super curious about him, so I'm going to check that out after. But it means I don't have as much to say about him for this point of the podcast. I
didn't do a lot of research on Vince Staples, although I did see him on Hot Ones, which is a really good YouTube show. You guys should check that out. But he's just, he's trying to bring back this feel to hip hop, and he has a lot of old school vibe and a lot of he does a lot of sound. He likes the vocals, he does the vocals, but it's a lot of the party feel and the and more about the dancing and stuff. It's really really cool. It's really cool.
The one thing I did see is he's a sober guy. He's not into the drugs or the alcohol. He's also not the most materialistic person, and he likes to not lavishly live and stuff. So that was pretty cool to.
He's
to come
more
across.
down to earth than a lot of.
He's
the
almost
rappers.
like the equivalent of the working man, your everyday guy in hip hop, which is what I understood of his personality. But I kind of learned that as I was reviewing the album, so I don't know. I don't know a lot about him. On that note, what did you think of the title Big Fish Theory and the cover being just a goldfish?
The cover itself is just a play with the title of the album, Big Fish Theory. But when I first heard Big Fish Theory, I didn't get it. I was like, but you're coming up into the game. You're not a big fish yet, You're not...
Well... I don't know.
You're not a kingpin, or you're not the biggest
song
fish
Big
in the
Fish
sea.
already come out? I don't know, because I think it was a single, right?
It could have been. I didn't hear it. My fault. But still, I just felt this is a bold way to start. Your
maybe it's him
album
being
or whatever it is.
This is the theory of how I understand I will become a big fish.
Yeah, and then I did kind of think that way.
I think it is bold. I think it's interesting. I think that cover is awful, but iconic in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I won't forget that weird-looking goldfish
staring at you.
It's kind of like the Weezer album that just has that guy Hurley from the Walking Dead or Lost, the Lost guy, and it's just him standing there, and you can't forget it. You just once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I feel the same way about the goldfish. Ever since I first saw the album cover way back when, I couldn't forget it. It's just, oh yeah, the Goldfish album, right? And it makes sense. So I'd say it's a really interesting marketing move, but it doesn't tell me anything about what to expect, right?
Fair enough.
Oh, you want to jump in?
Might as well.
All right, so track 1 is Crabs in a Bucket.
Wanna see you with the bottom, know she love it. When they hating, so you hit them with the encore, sending shots, but you.
So I didn't know what to expect at all.
This is cool. This is really cool.
I listened to this album about 3 or 4 times throughout the course of the week at work, just because it had already come out, just to let it play through. And the energy and the vibe of this song is enthralling. Like, you know, I don't exactly know what it's about. I couldn't focus a lot on the lyrics, and I listened to it multiple times. It's just, you kind of picture him just looking around and just things happening and just him going on this little adventure.
Close.
And his flow kind of takes you through it, and you're just like, the way he raps it is so smooth. It's almost got this, like, it doesn't even really feel that hip-hop. It feels like another genre of music creeping in, but
it's
still,
like a little mix of like EDM a little bit. That's coming in, and it's
like,
really, but it's not heavy. It's nice.
It's like you can feel this at the club, not at the rave. You know,
exactly.
Like it's dance music, right? It's almost like that. It's like he wants you to.
It's like when it's like past like 11 o'clock at night on the radio when they're playing like
it's dance
like,
music.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. The song itself is actually just describing how it's your typical "I'm king" shit type song, but done in a way.
Try not to swear. They're gonna flag his dude, king guy. You know, think of creative ways to express it.
You're right. Anyway, he's trying to be Mr. Kingpin. He's trying to give that message, but the way he does it, he's kind of like, look, if I can't have it, nobody can have it. And that's the concept of the crabs in the bucket. It's just if there's crabs there, nobody's going to put their hands in it because if I can't have it, you can't. And I like how he did it. I like how he played off this. He sees things changing, and what he can have, he's like kind of sharing, but he's not. But what he can't have, he makes sure that no one else can have it.
Kish at the end, she has the perfect like dance music voice type. Like she just sounds excellent.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of her on this album, but this comes in and it flows so well with this nice beat, and like I don't know. I could listen to this again and again and again. Like honestly, this is a great start to this album. It really got me excited. It makes me want to go through and hear just what he can do next. Like, I don't know that I would call him like the best rapper I've ever heard, but this song is one of the more interesting ones I've encountered. For like the beginning of an album, it's managed to successfully pique my curiosity. I give this a 4. I don't feel like anything he said, like I did look at the lyrics, I don't think anything was like over the top and significant.
He's clear though, I want to say that. Like he's very clear.
And he's got this kind of like grimy offbeat flow to him that I really like. And it's very him.
Well, you know he's from Long Beach.
Yeah, I did. And he was going to tell us in later songs. But I do, and I think it's cool. And it's like everything about him is like he's 85% of being an amazing rapper at this point.
He's got that like living by the coast feel type vibe to him, which is cool.
You can almost picture like palm trees and like blowing winds.
The Long Beach lifestyle.
And
not so much gangster like Snoop Dogg.
No, but like there's just the cruising around. Like he's chilling in that part of town, etc. Like I think it was a really cool start.
And he's still a kid though, isn't he? Isn't he like my age?
I have no idea how old the guy is.
He's like my age.
We'll
like
check that and get
20,
back to you. We'll confirm in the next song. But yeah, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 4 out of 5. I wanted a little bit more actually, just in terms of.
It is short, eh?
It's a little short,
no,
but
like,
you know what it is. You know what it is. It's not that it's short. It's not that it's
dude. It is for 12 songs. It's 36 minutes. It's a really short album.
No, I get that, but I'm saying like, if you really look at it, it's a 3-minute song. Most songs nowadays are like 3 minutes, 4 minutes on average, right? But if you listen to the song, there's not a lot of him. There's a lot of music.
You're right. It's 2 short verses. And, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like you'll notice while we go through the album, and the viewers as well. If you guys listen to the album, you'll notice he's really talented. It's just he likes the music. He wants to bring back that dance feel.
He's a big picture type of guy. Like it's not trying to take the center stage. He's trying to create an experience. Like you're saying.
That's the thing. It's not so. I don't feel like it's so much. I don't. Anyway, we'll get into it throughout the album. Cool. We'll get into it throughout the album. Don't worry.
All right. Next up is I guess
Big Fish.
Yeah.
Shake my hand, take it easy, homie. Reminiscing, sitting in that Benz of the 22.
Yo, Juicy J.
Juicy nostalgia.
But not just Juicy J. Juicy J and not a swear word.
Hold on, it's.
No,
Whoa.
there's no cussing on this song.
Yeah.
There are a couple of cuss words on it.
Hold on. Let's be fair. Juicy doesn't have a verse. Juicy only has...
still the chorus, man. Juicy can do a lot on a chorus.
Yeah. But if we had a Juicy verse, it would have had a lot of words. And...
Sure. But like the whole like Juicy's just kind of stunting. Like this almost sounds like it's
But
supposed to be
I wanna
every
state
other
this.
song.
It's Juicy J, but it's Juicy J, not 3-6 Mafia. It's Juicy J when he entered Taylor Gang. For whoever follows Juicy J, you'll understand. I feel like once Juicy signed to Taylor Gang, there was a difference in sound and difference in who he was.
This is like Juicy J's been a solo guy since Katy Perry and stuff, like way back. Like we're talking half a decade ago.
No, when he joined Taylor Gang and Wiz Khalifa, it was completely different. Once he got signed to Wiz Khalifa, once Wiz Khalifa signed him.
What?
Yeah, Juicy J left 3-6 Mafia, did solo things, and then he signed on to Taylor Gang, which is Wiz
what
Khalifa's
I'm saying
label.
is that nobody's thought of him as being part of 3-6 Mafia in forever. That's a weird thing to say to me.
My apologies. I look back to I still listen to some of those
the
songs.
Mafia 6 has been around for a while. They've signed to Psychopathic Records, and then, if I'm not mistaken, have since left Psychopathic Records.
Fair enough.
This time.
Maybe I'm just still up there rapping
That's okay.
3-6 Mafia.
This song was still fun though.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he was being ironic or not. Like it kind of felt like Juicy J was there like rapping the regular chorus, exactly what he's supposed to be. But then the verses come in, he's like, yeah, I'm kind of about that life, but I'm not exactly about that life. And that's what I got from this. Like it was, but the flow, man, it felt like real rapping. It was like, consider we just talked about Lil Uzi Vert. Compared to that, this is like the most pure and classic hip hop there is.
It's cool because when he says
click
he's
clack boom bap, oof.
When he says he's late night balling, he's talking about again, he's not doing drugs, he's not really a trapper or something like that. He's talking about working hard, and like what you said, the businessmen feel he's grinding, he's writing his lyrics, he's up late night, like he's really relating to the ones that are trying to make music for like people and
like you can just kind of hear that. I think that he actually has had some of those street experiences. Actually, I think he comes from that kind of a neighborhood and that environment. You're right.
Right. Like a Kendrick. He's not
what I kind of took from it is what he's trying to say is he's not out there like blowing his money. He's not out there wasting it. What he hears this is he's out there grinding as opposed to like going out there because he wants to stack his cash. It's kind of similar to what Amane was saying. He's like, I may have like all this money in the bank, but I carry $20 on me. Like he's like, I understand the value of $1 and I'm trying to accomplish some bigger things and stuff. And like, so I mean, it feels like it's, but he still flosses. He still has a nice car. He still clearly has some nice things going on. But at the same time, it's almost like there are parts of these verses where I feel like it could be another rapper. I mean, excellently delivered. Like the way this guy's spitting is proper. Right. But it still has almost like that Jay-Z kind of feel to it where he's really smart and he's really playing
like
it.
He's dropping knowledge.
But he's also got that old school kind of actually knows how to rap
He's
part.
very versatile.
Over this kind of newer beat that had like the Juicy J. So having the contrast of Juicy J being an old guy who owns the new style, because to me that just sounded like Juicy for as long as I can remember.
Fair.
And like then you got, I don't know, it was a great contrast. I give it another 4. It wasn't like change the world awesome, but man, I can't wait to see what Vince Staples becomes. And as promised, he's 23 years old, the same age as the Uzi Vert. Crazy contrast considering where they come from and stuff. Like it's just crazy. Same age. One does drugs, makes that music. One is sober, makes this music. I'm not trying to say a lot there. Just it's on my mind. Anyway.
Fair enough. This is a really great track. Like I said in the beginning, nostalgia. I haven't heard Juicy J in a while. My fault stills. But I fell off that bandwagon. I don't know. I fell off the whole Wiz Khalifa bandwagon too. Anyway, great production. The message is really cool, and this guy's got spirit and he's got potential. So 4 on 5.
All right, so we can move on to the Alyssa interlude.
You know, it really hurt, but I needed enough distance from it.
Ooh, Amy Winehouse is kind of put on, and she's talking about like this like really messed up version of love that she's experienced and etc. Right, and the kind of like sounds and the things, and you can kind of hear almost like a stormy feel to it as it goes along. Like it's more of a poetry session than it is a song, right? And then he just kind of sings a bit, and you can tell like he's like been through something recently. Like he's dealt with his own heartbreak, and he's kind of just thinking about it, and maybe like he heard this Amy Winehouse bit and it made him think, so he took it, and now he's just kind of extending with his own. And you can hear how sad he sounds, right? Like he doesn't sound happy, and it's an interesting interlude. I mean, it's short, it's a couple of minutes, and most of it is Amy talking, and it's really kind of interesting that he chose her because she's dead and it was related to a messed up relationship, almost like saying that.
Well, it's not just a messed up relationship. Throughout the speech, Amy Winehouse's speech, she does mention that she has different songs for different meanings, and she's expressing herself in different ways. And
but I guess where I was going with that is that maybe Vince is trying to also communicate that he feels some responsibility for the loss of this relationship in the way that, you know, Amy is.
And he's just presenting it differently than what.
Or like even to the point where this person may even be dead as a result of something, or I don't know. It made me think. It made me consider, and I like that. It was one of the better interlude things. Like at first I wasn't sure. Like I kind of heard it a few times and it just blends smooth, right? One of the things I can give this album real credit for is that if you just hit play and let it go through, every song flows real nice. Yeah. Like there's no obstructions where it feels painful, and so. Yeah, I give it a 4. It was a good little break, I guess. It was nice kind of early, but still.
Nice 4. Well, I guess it's supposed to give somewhat context for the next track, which is Love Can Be. ... We got Damon Albarn. We got some more Kilo Kish. I keep wanting to say the other word with the U, but I'm afraid of mentioning drugs now in case we get flagged. I'm probably going to just say Kush again, so screw it. Kilo Kush every time I hear it. And then we got Ray J, which is just a name I haven't heard in a real long time. So this is really amazing. Like, really, now we've taken the album to a new level. I don't care if you have stuff to say. This is exciting. So you have Damon from the Gorillaz and from Blur just coming in and just singing like his Love Can Be and like presenting the chorus in like one voice. And it's almost like he's flat, right? He's got that weird emotionless voice, and I like it. And then Kilo Kish comes in with like the perfect I'm a gold digger verse, but like I don't have time for fake people. like she's like no holds barred, like, listen, oh, you're fake, you're a poser, get out of here, I don't have time for you, boom. But if you're there, like, she's down to ride. And then you've got like Vince coming in almost criticizing this lifestyle. And then I didn't really consider it until you said it, like this was a setup for the song, but if you consider what happens to people like Amy Winehouse and stuff, and like it's like really drills in, like it makes each verse start off really kind of fun. And by the end of the verse, bad things are happening. Like, you know, like the woman's all good, and then she turns into this like fake awful person. And but it's also describing that they're also describing in a way that love can make you do these type of things. Like love made the girl feel like I don't got time for your fake shit,
right?
Your fake stuff. But and then Vince is like, but love made me feel this way, which contradicts the way you're doing. And then I think the third verse is Ray J
you got Ray J who comes in for the second chorus, and then the third chorus is kind of a melange, but it's like as the different people kind of sing the chorus, it's like the tone almost changes a little bit to go with it. And I just think it's a criticism. The whole song is still a criticism, right? Because I think it's almost saying like, y'all don't really understand love. You do things in the name of love, but it can be this, it can be that, it can be all sorts of things. But like, I don't see any positivity in this song. I see it as a lot of like escapist, like kind of like it's all broken relationship type stuff.
Kind of like we blame love for the way we're acting. Like, oh, my heart's been broken. This is why I'm so cold.
That's a really good way to put it. I was blown away. It's a great beat again. Like I really like this dancing feeling. Like, you can really feel the energy and stuff. For me, it's a 4.5. It's really strong, dude, really interesting.
5 on 5. This is a great
It's definitely not a 5 to me. It's like. It could have, like, it's not, like, changed the world great. It's got, like, solidness to it. It's a little repetitive, but it is dance music, and repetitive in dance music isn't bad. And it's feature heavy, right? Like, and they're not bad at all. It's still feature heavy, and weird to compare, but, like, we just did the Lil Uzi Vert, like, an hour ago, so it's kind of like that guy didn't rely at all on features, and it makes me wonder, does, like, Vince need to have people like Kilo Kish around on the song to fully make it sound so good? What is he going to be like on his own without any friends, you know? And we haven't gotten a whole bunch of that, and we're 4 tracks in. Big Fish, sure, it was him, but everything else has had a friend involved in some way, right?
Oh, Big Fish had Juicy.
You're right, I take it back. So far, there's no solo tracks, and we're 4 in.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
this is mean, but can you consider Amy Winehouse?
Yes, because it's more than half the song is her. Anyway,
Fair.
and I'm not like, it's not trying to be a dick. It's just I would like to see more of Vince before I'm giving out this
But
clean
you know
5.
what? You know what?
And as a song, it's still not the best version of this track. It's a 4.5. It's really great, and I like it.
Okay, fair enough. Actually, I'm gonna retract my statement, and we'll hold on till we get to that song. But for right now, 7:45.
Yeah, 7:45.
I want runway stars, Kate Moss. All my life I want waves.
I hate the chorus of this song. It's kind of like, this is my take on this. So he once dreamt of living this life, like a lot of people do, and now he's there, and he almost doesn't, like, he is living the life more now. He has the life, but he doesn't really like it.
Really?
It's like this kind of jaded acceptance, like this is happening, but it's not really. Like, it's almost like the expectations.
You got this from this?
Yeah.
I got this was him making a play on words with a. I got this as a 7:45 as a car reference to a specific car, and he wants to pick up the girl cliche at 7:45.
Those are two things that you couldn't have when you were poor. He
That's-
gets the really fancy car now. He can
The
demand
car,
that the
yes,
girl,
but-
and then she gets in and just calls him daddy, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I guess. Okay,
And
I
then-
guess when you
so
break
that's
it
the
down
hook.
like that.
And then if you look in the verses, he's a little bit on the jaded side. This doesn't sound like it's a happy song. It almost sounds like he idolized the lifestyle for so long, and now that he's got there, it
But
just
you know what
doesn't
it is?
taste good.
Hold on. I want to give it to him though. When we idolize the lifestyle, we think these people actually care. But when you become at that point, you realize these people are not really with you for who you are. They're with you for a reason, and maybe that's why he feels jaded.
That's fine.
So it's a creative way of
just-
expressing himself
But
in
I
terms
don't
of.
think it's that creative. I feel like it was almost like a lazy way of expressing the point. I feel
Okay.
like this song could have been like any one of those other weird guys that I don't like a Dolla could have done this song, or one of those guys. It just could have been that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so flat. It was just kind of like I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of good things to say about it.
And then Kendrick.
Oh, by the way, just to throw it out there, this is what he sounds like when he's by himself. There's no features on this one.
Kendrick's on this.
No, Kendrick isn't on 7:45. Kendrick's on Yeah Right later on the album. So this is just kind of him all by himself for the whole song. It doesn't really evolve in, like, it's a 2.5 for me. It's really boring. The beat's kind of slow and drags on, but then it flips up at the end in a nice way. And look, man, how am I going to give a 2.5 to the Kendrick song? It's probably not going to happen.
Fair.
Not just
you gave
'cause-
it a 2.5.
Yeah, this is not that good, man.
Dude, this is at least a 3. Like,
No,
I gave it
it's-
a 3. It's,
it's-
not bad. Like, you
look,
can listen to
Look,
this.
the more I listen to music as we review albums and stuff, right? Like, you kind of stop feeling like things are as good all the time, right?
Okay, I get you
This
on
is
that.
kind of like boring to me. This is there's not a lot of bad songs on this album, but I would say, like, I would skip this, man. Like, this would come
Okay.
on, I'd be like 7:45. He sounds bored. I get, even if there's a point to it. Even if it's like making a bad painting to make a bad painting, it's still a bad painting. And so I can't get past that.
It is what it is. Fair enough. I gave it a 3 on 5 though. So
I don't know. You wanna talk about how Ramona Park is Yankee Stadium? Apparently, Ramona Park is his hood, and his specific Crip gang is marked by Yankee hats, and so this is a shout out to his gangs, and I like the vacantness of it in the sense of, like, it really has almost this lost feeling, like he's cruising around his hood and he's just kind of like praying, almost saying, "I'm gonna make it through the night," etc. It's a little shout out to where he comes from, a little break in the middle of the album. And then I like at the end when it just says gunshot, and while the gunshot's happening, like almost like to censor it, but to make it very clear what's happening. Yeah, it was just like, I guess, paying homage to the hood, and so it was okay. It was a nice little break. It wasn't boring. It was just kind of, I guess, adding that he has some credibility here. He is coming from a specific place. Y'all should know who he is. 3.5. Nothing really over the top for
I
me.
gave it a 3. I didn't really catch on to what he was trying to portray, but I did get, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't produced bad. There is a reason for it, and there is a message. So 3 on 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that I have more to say outside of that. It just seemed like a random 51-second shout out in the middle of his album. Anyway, next up is the song with Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, right.
Diamonds on your neck is then pretend. Boy, yeah, right.
So, This is cool. I like his verses. It's just a raw criticisms. It's raw attackings of like, yeah, right. Like, honestly, all your stuff's fake. This sounds all fake. Heavy emphasis on how there's not a lot of reality, attacking the men, the women, the culture, etc. And I gotta say,
very generalizing.
the beat is like next level, right? Is really fun because it's almost like it metamorphizes. So part one is Vince, and he's real strong.
Yep.
He comes in, that chorus. It's very like, it reminds me of like early Tyler, the Creator, almost like right, almost like offensive with it.
Like it has like that group squad in the background type feel. Like
but like honestly, it wants to get in your face and bother you with it. So it's all right. I'm feeling good.
No, I don't think he's getting into your face. I think people are getting into his face with their fake success.
No,
but
that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Right, relax.
But I'm saying his is meant to get in your face if you're fake. Okay. And then Kucka comes in and does her bit there and like transitions the song just a little bit. And then Kendrick comes on, and I'm just like, I gotta give him respect. He does not feature Kendrick Lamar on Spotify, so respect on that, right? But Kendrick comes in, and look, he's Kendrick, so it's good. But this is definitely the quality that Kendrick gives to features. It's not like a real Kendrick verse. It's like Kendrick scribbled some thoughts down and threw it on and slapped it on. And I gotta say that I was a little disappointed by this Kendrick verse.
I felt the same.
I honestly feel like the guy, when he does these features, it's almost like it's not worth it to pay for the Kendrick feature because he's not going to try that hard unless he wants to do it. And I didn't feel like he wanted to do it here. Like, it's good. The way the beat flips is nice. It's not like it's a bad verse. It's just that Vince's verses, what he was saying, the power behind them are that much better than what like Kendrick brought to the table on this. And so I was a little disappointed, but that doesn't make it bad. So I gave it a 4.5 on 5. Because it's a strong song. It's definitely one of my favorites. I haven't plussed anything yet on the album, but I think I'm going to take this one because it gets stuck in your head. It's got this crazy fun energy. It's got this raw honesty. It's short. It's 3 minutes, 9 seconds, but, you know, everything is short. So I guess it's long for this album. It's like a full song. It feels good.
Nice. I gave this a 4 on 5. I really like the message behind it. I really like the emphasis on how he one articulates. He's very clear, and I'm talking about Vince now. Very clear, articulates well, and his message is very clear, and he calls out people on their shit, and he doesn't want to deal with, like, you know, the fakeness. He knows you're lying, just be honest, and he'll like you more, whatever it is. And I have to agree, Kendrick lacked a little bit. I was like, look, I've heard you write some serious fucking crazy shit,
but, you know, I don't know. I can't think of a really great Kendrick feature except maybe what he did with J. Cole or a couple of others, but not in a while. Like, if you think of the effing Problems with A$AP Rocky, it kind of still felt like it was lackluster. It's like, man, Kendrick, don't do this. Be cool all the time. Try harder. I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't say this because somebody's going to hate on me. Like, it was the hypest ever. But, like, nah,
dude,
man.
just take into consideration. We did go into depth in his last album. We did give it a good mark. But
and it's not that Kendrick's bad. It's that when Kendrick does these features, I'm not feeling it, you know? Anyway, I got nothing else to add on that, do you?
Not much, but let's go pay homage.
All right. This is just a kind of another song dealing with, like, his reality and the expectations. Like, it's like he's not handling fame very well is what I'm getting. Right?
I thought he was paying homage to certain people that he idolizes who gave him influence and to do what he does. That's just all I got. Like,
I mean, I feel like the chorus is saying that no matter what he does, they can't stop him, and he's got that mentality, and he's kind of paying homage maybe to the ideas that have gotten him to where he is, right?
Pretty sure I heard Madonna, or maybe it's because I read.
Oh no! One of his albums was called Prima Donna.
Yeah.
That's his album.
Right. Maybe that's where I'm getting confused.
So Prima Donna kind of got him to a point of success, right? So I feel like he spent all his time dreaming about success, and again, this might sound like a broken record. We had a whole other song where I felt the same way on. And now that he's here, he's having trouble kind of managing it. Like, it's like, I love the dancey feel. I feel like this is a great song. If I was out there and I wanted to go out with a lady and have a great time, this is it, man. It's clean, like, in the sense that it's fun. You go through it, but then he kind of sounds a little on the generic side with some of his lines. Like, and I guess it's on purpose because he's saying, like, this is my life now. I actually am doing all these things that all these rappers are talking about. But he makes it sound like not that fun because he doesn't seem to like it. And that's what I find interesting. It's like in a lot of cases, the guys make it sound not fun because they're faded or they sound bored or whatever. This sounds like he just isn't into it. Like he's living it. He's finally there.
You know what it is? You know what it is? That when you're faded and when you're like effed up and partying litty, you're not really realizing the job aspect.
Yeah, I guess he's a
you know what I
sober
mean?
dude. No, but just to add to that, he's actually sober. So now that he's
Right.
there living
So
this
for him,
life,
this is a job.
he actually feels the consequences to things. And
Yeah.
but no, I'm not saying that it's a job. I'm saying we're talking about the rewards, like the multiple
Right,
girls, the
right.
big
But
cars.
I'm saying, like-
I'm saying that he can actually feel the consequences of living this fast life because he's not hiding behind the alcohol and all the other stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, yes, in his sense, the grinding is the job, and he's making it. But now he's still able to party. You don't have to do drugs to party.
I get it, but I'm saying, like, I feel like people who are like not trying to discredit Uzi Vert, right? Like we just did him about an hour ago.
Yes, we've said that.
When he's partying, he's like on drugs and getting messed up.
Yeah, but
he's trying to forget.
He uses that to like stay numb. And I
right, and I feel like Vince is here, like, because I'm not living and partying like that, I'm here really looking at what's going on in this, like, industry.
No, but
what's
I
going
feel
on
like
now.
he's trying to live and party like that, but he doesn't get high or anything like that, right? So he's not drunk, but he's still got the cars, got the girls, got all these things happening, but he doesn't sound like he likes it. And I think maybe because he's sober, he actually sees the shallowness in his lifestyle, and it's harder for him to get into it. And so I feel like he's paying homage to like this lifestyle that he's not part of, but he doesn't really like. It's a weird song. I give it a 4. Like, I don't know. He's not my favorite rapper by any means, but this is definitely an album that I'm happy I've listened to so far.
It's definitely going to want me to listen to it. It's going to definitely make me want to listen to more. I also gave the song a 4 on 5.
All right, so I guess you could say we gave it the SAMO grado.
Trying to be a baby mama, trying to break a player pockets, that's a no-no.
It was cool. He's calling everyone out and going that nobody's different, everybody's the same, and that.
But he sounded like them.
Right, and that's the funny part about it because
he sounds like Hobson. Hobson did this already.
Ah.
No, look, I'm not trying to be a dick. I just thought this was really boring. I was like, look, A$AP Rocky comes in and helps on the chorus, and Kish interlopes a bit too, and it's like, you're right. That is exactly what this is. Everything sounds the same. Everything. But like when you ironically sound the same, it's not exactly like you're adding anything here. It's not like you brought anything great to the table on this one. It's like
you kind of just added to what was already there, but just trying to make fun of what's already on the table.
That's it. It was like you're trying to take shots at it. It's like when Tech Nine did that like mumble rap thing to start off his last album to try to be cool on Godspeed, or like it's like y'all are just not even taking the time to really like maybe understand the other kind of music. You're just kind of, maybe you're right. Maybe you're hating on the lifestyles and what they're saying, and that's all real bad and stuff. But to a degree, it's like you're doing it in such a boring way here that I don't find it interesting when you could have just made a better song without addressing the subject altogether. I guess that's what bothers me. It's you didn't have to make the song saying that everyone else sounded the same while putting on your album.
But it's not
a
just
song
about
that
everyone
sounds
sounding the same. It's that everyone sounds the same and there's no diversity. There's no change. Like
Right.
as on this album, right? At least there's difference. There's difference.
But that's
diversity
it.
between the tracks.
So why
But when
add
you
this
get-
song?
Because he's trying. I think he's just. Look, I agree that it is weird when he's trying to be ironic about it, but
it's just
I do
out of-
agree with him in the terms of
I don't
like,
think
look, if you're gonna make a
he's
rap,
not wrong, dude. But the way he's doing it,
okay, fine.
it basically comes
Fine.
out like you've just now contributed another boring song to the list of boring songs that are
That'll
already
get
boring.
melanged up and
so
not, like,
you took your album that was running pretty strong with one exception, and then you put this on, and it just my whole vibe, and it's like, I get what you were trying to do, but honestly, Hobson took that idea and ran it to death, and a few others tried, and it didn't really help them or work. It's not going to stop the money machine from working. Instead, just focus on creating better like art so that you can stand as an example. To quote the Christians and stuff, take your light and let it shine. Don't just like point your finger with 3 pointing back at you and stuff. To me, it was a complete miss. I give this a 3 because I get it what it is, but oh man, this is boring.
Fair enough. I also gave it a 3. I gave it a 3.5 actually because I did enjoy the beat. The beat was catchy to me, so.
It's alright, it's whatever. Next up is Party People.
All I see, I've
I like the party people here. Like, it's such a throwback to like the 80s and the dancing feeling, the heavy dance, and this is the most messed up party song. Like it's like, on the one hand, his escape from all the darkness in the world is that he just wants to go make people dance, throw on a good show, everybody partying, and if people are happy as a result of what he's doing, then effectively life is okay, and that's his escape. Like, because he doesn't have drugs or anything, he doesn't have that other escape, so he needs to kind of do this. But meanwhile, he looks around and all he sees is all this dark and messed up stuff, so he's describing it at the exact same time. So it's like, I want to see you dance because the police are killing people in the street,
But I want to see you dance while not being on drugs.
and I just want to see you dance and use the music, rely on it to get you through this.
See, that's a cool concept, because a lot of people go to raves and go to concerts and rely on the drugs to make the experience better, and he's just there wanting it to be like, this is the full experience. You don't need to be on drugs to like, or you don't need to be intoxicated to be to enjoy this music, to enjoy me. You need to just listen to me. Like,
right now,
you know?
I'm not one to personally say you should or should not do it, but I've been to places where everybody's messed up, and when you do see that person who's completely sober, who's just dancing, enjoying the music, that person looks like they're having the best time of all the people that are there trying to have a good time. Because there are people who just love this music and show up and feel it. And I feel like so often the emphasis of getting wasted is more important than the event. Like, I find that the longer I go on, and I do perform locally every now and again, the soberer I get as I do it, because I feel like the experience gets better. I mean, obviously, there depends the vibe and stuff, but like, when you're younger, you just kind of want to get messed up all the time, and music and messed upness has a great like association, and I feel like it's just cool to kind of see somebody be like, I just want to see y'all dance. And it's not the first time. I keep seeing people be like, let's use music to equalize. It's a lot more prevalent in the rock side of the world, but I feel like just earlier today I was talking with Sid about the new the new Queens of the Stone Age album. There was like this exact song, and it's another genre of music, but the same style of song,
Right.
like almost to the same, I want to see you dance, let's make the world better, because it's a good thing. And I like it. I give it a 3.5. It's not the most amazing song. Kind of feels a bit annoying as it goes on. It's not like I get it. It's really what it is, but it's not my favorite. So I give it a 3.5. It's a pleasant experience, but if you're not really into it, you're not gonna like it.
I give it a 4 on 5. I actually really enjoyed this song in terms of the sound, in terms of the production, the flow. I like that he takes the breaks and lets the music play, and you can kind of just feel the music, like, instead of having to focus on the lyrics. And I did mention it earlier that I do like listening to the lyrics, but it's also nice sometimes as well to just jam to the beat. So it's pretty cool. 5 on 5.
All right.
Not really much to say about it.
I mean, there's probably more we could go into. Apologize if it's a bit quick. I mean, the beat was kind of thumpy and like heavier, you know, like, it's just that none of this feels in a very conventional hip hop. Like, this guy's music has a very particular style. Like, it wasn't Amine from the West Coast and also have like a very particular, more dance driven style. Maybe it's interesting. It's just like to see a new direction that is not necessarily what is commonly known as like mumble rap, and it's like maybe a clearer direction for this party music. I like it. Anyway, next up is
BagBak.
BagBak. Here we have Mr. Vince, and he wants you to know that you don't understand him. You don't know him. Don't think that because he's a rapper, etc., that he's like everyone else. Like, he stands out. Back off with your opinions. Like, stay back. I don't know. That was whatever. When the verses kind of elaborate on some of the more complex ideas he has, like, he's paying attention to the political situation. Like, he's actually focusing on the world that's going on around him. And I like the fact that he makes the effort to rap about real issues and not shy away from how he feels. Like, he might have some songs that might be kind of boring, like SAMO to me, but at the same time, he's able to take almost this fun party sound, these modern rap styles, and rap in a way that feels like good to like a good, you know, somebody who like appreciates proper hip hop, and then at the same time bring in relevant issues to kind of almost capture a younger audience. And I feel like Vince Staples is the representation of what I hope a lot more hip hop will become. Even if he might not be yet fully developed into what I would like him to be, I think this is still a really strong song, man. Like, I gave it a 4 on 5. I like the beat. I think it's got a great energy to it. I feel like you can totally... It reminds me a little bit of the trap beat from Rick Ross, right? Like, you kind of feel that energy to it. But with, like, an intelligence and like educational level that's far surpassed what you would expect from that style of music. So it was kind of like almost like a little more written for somebody like me as opposed to the average cliche rap fan, as you could say.
Fair enough. He is really intelligent. He is really cool. He is really slick with his wordplays. But I like how real he is, and he keeps it real when he has to, and he keeps it fun when he has to. And I felt like this song was addressing that, like, if we were to band together, we can, like, overthrow the government in a sense.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And, like, so, he has that, like, sense of...
Like, that charisma.
Is this the one with, like, the 1% and the... Yeah. Like, yeah, he's very much unhappy with the economic situation and disparity of wealth. And he does believe that we can work together to focus on, like, the bigger enemies.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it.
I gave it a 4 on 5.
All right. Anyway, there's one track left on the album, and that is "Rain Come Down."
When the sun go down.
Have Dolla sign 99 whatever, and he comes in with a pretty decent hook.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. I guess like when the sun goes down and your girl goes down, and clever, like rain falls, etc. Kind of, I guess it's supposed to be like a context setter, like it's nighttime. Yeah, like you're just chilling, we're in this point, you're supposed to be like thinking, and whatever, and then we get the verses that are coming in from
Vince.
Yeah, and they're pretty strong. Like, it's pretty, like, political, that first verse and second verse, which is a complete cut, copy, paste of the same thing. It's a good verse. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. And it's cool, and you can clearly see his connection to, like, Snoop and, like, his desire to, like... is like, you just get a good feeling for him.
He's got that, and it is funny. He's got the laid-back type style like Snoop, but just not on drugs.
And he's also got that, like, hard-hitting, like, political edge. Like, he's coming in and he's frustrated and he wants you to know, etc.
Right.
And you can't compete. He's got, like, that, like, kind of gangsterism almost to his verse. Like, I really like the energy. It was just that it came back a whole second time. Mm-hmm. And then there was the third verse, which was different, which questioned stuff like love, etc. And, like, it was still a strong feeling. It's just, I didn't really think the beat was great. I find, like, almost any time Ty Dolla Sign's on a beat, it kind of sounds like that, regardless of the song. And the verses were great, like, for what they were, and if it hadn't repeated and it had been, like, 3 unique verses, I would have really liked it. But to its credit, it might be that it kind of felt like he was expressing the frustration of his daily life, and it might be that he repeated it to kind of imply that, it's like a cycle, but that's been done to death this year. It's not even the first time I've mentioned that on a review, so it's not that cool anymore, Had a video, and it was just him standing in a desert. It was very boring. When we go to a restaurant and there's like a Sprite bottle, so it's clearly like paid for by Sprite. Like, I want to like this more because it's the last song on the album, and like I really want to like it, but it was very disappointing, man.
It wasn't strong enough, to be honest. Like, I didn't really like the feel of it, and I'm not saying it's not a bad song. Look, I gave it a 4 on 5.
Man, I gave it a 3. I actually thought it was kind of like a disappointing end to the album.
It wasn't bad. It was produced nicely. The raps were good. The lyrics were tight. Ty Dolla $ign actually didn't annoy the crap out of me. It's just...
But it's the last song on the album, and following something like Party People or BagBak, it's kind of like, man...
A little weak.
This should have been... If it had to be on the album, stick it in the middle. This isn't the crux of you. Granted, it's the longest song on the album, and it's kind of sad, Like, I just would have wanted more out of your closing song, considering how amazing your start to this album was. It was just a bit of a disappointing end.
Fair enough.
But that's all right. So I gave it a 3. For me, that's the end. Do you have more to say on this one?
On the song?
Yeah.
I gave it a 4. That's it.
All right. So I gave this album a 3.7 on 5. Oh. I feel like my biggest criticism is that the songs were far too short to really say enough. And yeah, it's got a good dancey feel and whatever, but it felt a little bit more like an EP than like an album. I don't know, maybe it was supposed to be an EP, but it was 12 songs, so it kind of just maybe maybe having 4.5-ish, a lot more, and third verses, longer verses, more to say. Like, it would be cool. I like the point of a lot of it, and I would look forward to covering more Vince Staples in the future.
Nice. I gave this a 3.9 on 5. I really like the vibing feel. I really like the dancing music. I like the lyrics. I like where he's going with this. But in terms of sustainability to play out for the next couple of weeks or even the next month, I don't think this is going to hold out.
Well, by now it has been months, so we could probably just check where it's playing at. But let's be real. I don't really hear the name Vince Staples being said everywhere. In fact, the comment that requested it almost made it sound like this was a slept-on album, and I do think that's fair. I think this is better than like anything DJ
in
Kalah
terms of
did.
what's being released now with the artists and everything. This is a better sounding album.
It's hard to compare this to like a Lil Uzi Vert, but I respect the art in what Vince Staples is doing in terms of lyricism and beat choices, etc. And Lil Uzi Vert is just a weird guy that knows how to make a fun party song. Like, I don't know. It's hard to compare them. I like Vince more, but I'm supposed to like Vince more, I think.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I guess that's it for this extra episode in the middle of the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Let us know what you care about seeing. And if you hit the show more, you can keep in touch and all that fun stuff.
Okay. We're out.
All right, take care. Peace.